Hey everybody, and welcome to this special on the new moon in Cancer. So now I'm going to talk about what the new moon represents in astrology and what the spiritual and psychological meanings are, and just the things we can do. So all in all, in astrology, the new moon is a catalyst, it's the pulse, it's the ground that can provide us with personal growth and transformation if we are willing to, take the new beginnings. This energy wants us to do. It wants us to take fresh starts. This could even mean restarting a project or relationship for some of you. And it is also a powerful tool for manifesting your goals and intentions. So it marks the perfect opportunity for self-reflection, intention setting, and as the moon disappears from the view, because we don't really see the moon at the time of the new moon, it invites us to turn inward, reflecting on our desires and whether they align with our goals, our life purpose and our true authentic self. And by actively engaging in the new moon energy, we can promote more clarity and focus within ourselves, and using tools such as journaling, meditation, or creating vision boards, which I'll go a bit more in depth about later, can really help us focus. Now, remember, tools like journaling, meditation and vision boards, they help us recognize our emotions, let go of our emotions, visually see what we want to manifest, but we have to take practical action, daily steps to bring desired reality into reality. So yeah, we can take this attentional approach, and this allows us to plant the seeds of our goals, nurturing them in the fertile ground of our subconscious mind. So it puts a spotlight on our thoughts. A lot of the time we have these thought patterns that we need to release, and the only way to release them is to take time to work through our psychological, emotional and spiritual traumas. The new moon also symbolises the cyclical nature of life. We have spring, then we have summer, then we have autumn, and then we have winter. So it reminds us that just as the moon phases transition, from new to waxing gibbous and full moon and crescent moon, so can our circumstances and mindset. So we can change. We feel that we can't change because we've been programmed to conform, and a lot of people say, oh, once you pass a certain age, or people like you don't do this or that, but it's up to you what you do with your life. So it encourages us to release our limiting beliefs and past disappointments, making way for personal transformation on all levels by reprogramming our subconscious mind, so we can seek out tools. Speakers like James Allen, Florence Scovel-Shinn, Marcia Rosenberg, Scott M. Peck, Neville Goddard, even Manly P. Hall, who else, Louise Hay, Tara Brach, Jiddu Christopher Murphy, Anthony DeMello have helped me reprogram my subconscious mind. So you search out the tools that help you, because that's part of it. You can listen to them while you're driving, while you're sleeping. You'd be amazed what the mind picks up, and how slowly doing things to change the negative thoughts in your subconscious mind can help you to let go of what no longer serves you and create a space for new opportunities to enter your life if you take care of it on the mind, body and soul level. So taking care of your mind by working through your traumas, taking care of your body by eating right, sleeping right, eating the right foods for you, and taking care of your soul by engaging in some sort of spiritual practice. And if we're willing to do this, we can empower ourselves to take charge of our growth and align with the universe's natural rhythms. So spiritually, as I said, it wants us to confront innermost thoughts, feelings and goals without the distractions of the external world. So taking some time out, even if it's just 5 minutes to be alone in your car, in your room, in your home, if you live alone, if people are out. And by embracing the stillness and darkness of the new moon, we can dig into our subconscious, uncovering hidden truths and recognize desires. And through this self-reflection, we can also uncover ways to face our hidden truths, use our hidden talents, and to meet our unrecognized repressed desires. It serves as a pathway to understanding our soul's purpose and aligning our life with it. And as we increase our connection to our inner wisdom, practices such as lighting candles, intention setting ceremonies, and even guided visualizations or energy clearing rituals can help facilitate and support you gain a deeper sense of self-awareness on your spiritual journey. And as you honour this sacred time, you may find that the new moon not only illuminates your aspirations but also reveals the obstacles that get in the way of your growth. And a lot of the time we are the ones, our mindset, our unwillingness to let go, our need to stay in our comfort zones are often the big reasons we don't live the lives we want, or the toxic ways we relate to ourselves and others, or the toxic ways we allow our other people to relate to us. And again, this is not about victim blaming or anything like that. A lot of the time we can get in these coercive relationships and situationships that we can find it hard to get out with, but by reaching out to maybe organisations that can help you, and I know they're limited, but by really making a plan, especially if you are in a coercive relationship, and make sure you put it in a safe space on how you can get out of the circumstances you are in that is stopping you from being empowered. So ultimately, the new moon is about, it's new, but it's also dark, and darkness is not something we normally, put together with, newness, but it wants us to embrace the duality and create a sense of balance within ourselves between our strengths and weaknesses, light and dark, and to try and build some more self-worth, confidence and clarity into our lives, or to continue to build it if you're already working on that. So ultimately, it's a sacred time of renewal where we can develop, cultivate more self-awareness, love, forgiveness, acceptance, and create a profound connection to the universe and our spirit, our higher consciousness. Talking more about the esoteric, the mundane interpretations of the new moon, it wants us to, reflect on what we wish to cultivate in our life, write down specific goals and desires, and, create a tangible reminder of your intentions, reinforcing your commitment to pursuing them as the moon, waxes through its stages. Encourages us to release the past and let go of habits that no longer serve you. And this process of decluttering your emotional, spiritual and psychological baggage can create space for you to have more renewed passion about the life that you're living, or the life you want to create for yourself. So, choose a ritual that resonates with you and take some time out for quiet reflection, and create an environment, that's right, productive for you to be able to bring more practicality and stability into your life. More about the esoteric meanings. Symbolically, it wants us to connect with our inner self and the universe, your higher power, whatever you call it, using visualization or intuitive readings from others or from yourself, and you're just sitting there with yourself and allowing yourself to access hidden knowledge and guidance that enriches your spiritual journey. And as the new moon represents on the esoteric level the darkness of the womb a lot of us were born in a womb. It invites us to explore the depths of our psyche, creating self-discovery and inner wisdom. You can use tools such as tarot cards, crystals or astrology to enhance your understanding of this phase, and you may consider selecting a specific tarot card or any other card that resonates with your intentions, or use crystals that align with new beginnings like clear quartz, which I can recommend, or moonstone. And it just wants us to take these moments of quiet reflection to listen to our intuition and uncover insights that may have previously eluded you, you may have ignored or you may have not been able to grasp before. So by deepening your spiritual practice in this way, you can align yourself with the natural rhythms of the cosmos, and ultimately it wants you to engage in things that can help you and connect with yourself. So any form of meditation such as mindfulness, breath work, mantra can help you, center your thoughts and emotions. Also, lighting a candle or using incense to purify your area, allowing the ambience to support your focus. You can write your intentions on paper and express them clearly and positively, and this act not only solidifies your desires but also reinforces your commitment to manifest them in coming weeks. So by visualizing the energy of the new moon and see it enveloping you, surrounding you, protecting you, comforting you, and allowing you to have more motivation. And some of you may choose to repeat affirmations that align with your intentions, but remember, you need to also put practical actions into any tool that you are using. It's not just about visualizing or affirming, it's about, creating a life, changing your life habits so you can provide the right ground for these things to manifest, and by engaging in mindful rituals you can transform your life as you start not only this new journey but a new phase of your life if you wish so yeah, that's the end of looking at what the new moon means from all angles. So this is like a homecoming of our authentic emotions. The new moon in Cancer happens at 8:11 p.m. GMT time on the 24th of July. So the energy frequency is water, emotional reset, home and family restructuring, changing things in our home environment, not just our physical homes. It could be our workplace, our mental, spiritual and emotional homes. It's activating our authentic nurturing needs and giving and receiving, and the moon is in the 8th degree of Cancer, which I'll talk more in depth about as we go on. And at the time of this new moon in Cancer, the Sun and the Moon is making a trine to Saturn and Neptune, and there's an opposition to Pluto and a square to Chiron. So the Sabian symbology is rabbits dressed in clothes and on parade. So at the time of this new moon in Cancer, there are 2 T-squares, and this adds an intense transformational energy. It rules the 8th Sabian degree of Cancer that are so Gil. Sorry, I don't know how to pronounce these words half the time, but at least I try, because I want us to have the clear imagery of the body part. So it's like our diaphragm, our throat area, our upper chest area. And this new moon is a portal for our emotional authenticity, family healing, and creating true sanctuary. So it can transform our entire relationships with home, family, and what it actually means to feel emotionally safe in this mad world of ours. And the Sabian symbology of rabbits dressed up and strutting, showing off their stuff, is undeniable, wacky, but somehow perfectly charming. And that's exactly the energy we're dealing with here, this magical, what are rabbits? They got a lot of energy, right? In the UK, we have this term, attic like rabbit. So, it's giving that spring, extra vitality, energy to do do the things that we've been putting off. So this isn't just any old new moon, it's a proper chance for emotional reset if we want to take it, because with all astrological energy, it's out there, it's up to us to use it. And that's why I do these holistic, practical specials on new moons and retrogrades and stuff, to really let you know the energies that are happening at this time and how you can really use it to transform your life. So think of the Cancer new moon at the 8 degrees of Cancer like having your favourite nan, grandmother give you the biggest cuddle, or favourite family member or person, whilst simultaneously teaching you how to be an adult properly. And with the opposition to Pluto, we're talking about deep transformational healing around what family and belonging actually mean to you. And trust me, some of those old patterns are about to get a proper shake up. And it's kind of like having an astrological renovation crew come in and completely restructure your understanding of authority, tradition, and what suggest actually looks like. It's asking you to examine whether your ambitions are feeding your soul or starving it. The trine to Saturn and Neptune gives our dreams structure and routine and staying power, whilst Neptune adds the magic of inspiration. So it's like having a practical mystic as your life coach, someone who believes in magic but also how to manifest this magic into the real world by real life changes to your daily habits and thoughts and self-destructive tendencies, like the way you may overindulge in hookups, drugs, alcohol, anything else that stops you from reaching your full potential. This can be anxiety, worry, which can be hard to control. We've all got issues that can be hard to control, but this is like giving us the opportunity to address them, not feel ashamed of them, but make a plan to work with them. So the square to Chiron brings up old wounds around belonging and acceptance, but in the most healing way possible. And it reminds us, as I said, that our emotional, psychological, spiritual scars are not weaknesses. They're places where light gets in, and that we need to learn to manage. And the light that gets in there is just illuminating the things, 12th house Neptune, the stuff that we bury, right, that we find it hard to deal with, so that we can manage them instead of numbing ourselves to them. So the combined energies of this new moon in Cancer create a beautiful opportunity to build something lasting and meaningful from a place of genuine emotional authenticity rather than external expectations. So yeah, this new moon is all about new beginnings and attention setting around what truly nourishes your soul. Cancer energy is like having emotional superpowers, and we're being invited to plant seeds for a life that feels like the warmest, safest hug that we've ever received. So overall, in terms of the holistic meaning, it's a great energy for manifesting the sense of home that isn't just about the bricks and mortar doors and windows, beds and carpets or laminate showers or baths, but about creating an emotional sanctuary wherever you are. Cancer, in astrology rules the mother archetype, family bonds, relationships, and that instinct to nurture. And this lunar new beginning is asking you to get serious about what genuinely feeds your soul versus what you've been told should make you happy. So positively, we're being given the permission to prioritize our emotional well-being and create boundaries that actually protect our sensitive natures. It's a good time for manifesting deeper family connections, chosen or biological, and creating a home that reflects our authentic self, or simply learning to mother ourselves with the same tender care we show our beloved child. The challenge comes because Cancer energy can get stuck in the past, rethinking, those thoughts that can go around our brain that we can find hard to control, especially if we've got, we're managing mental health, psychological health issues. Also the areas where we can become too clingy when we feel insecure. So the key is learning to nurture without suffocating, and to honour our emotional needs without making everyone else responsible for meeting them. So the best things we can do during this new moon is to create a vision board for our ideal home environment, our physical home or our internal home, how we would like to manage our emotions, our psychological and spiritual needs. Write down intentions about, the ways that we do or do not heal our family wounds, how we can create deeper connections with ourselves and others, how we can practice or continue to practice self-nurturing rituals that make us feel genuinely cared for. Journal about what home and family mean to you now versus what you were taught. Set up a sacred space in your current living situation, no matter how temporary, that can help you feel safe. So at the time of this full moon, we've got the sun and the moon in Cancer. So this is emotional intelligence at its finest, this energy here, reminding us that our feelings are not problems to solve, they are guidance systems to follow. And with the both luminaries, this is what the sun and the moon are, they're not planets, the luminaries in astrology, and they're both in Cancer. This creates a beautiful invitation to come home to yourself in the deepest possible way. So in terms of the aspects that are influencing us, I'm going to do a deeper analysis now. So as I said, the moon and the sun are making a trine to Saturn. This is separating, but it's still a harmonious, a good, beneficial earth-water connection. So imagine it like having astrological scaffolding, when builders are repairing a house to pull up these metal poles, right? So imagine this as astrological scaffolding for your emotional architecture, where you can build something beautiful and lasting from your feelings. So positively, your emotional insights are getting a real world application here now, supporting creating routines in your life that actually nurture you rather than drain you. Think of boundaries that protect you without isolating you from yourself and others, and routines that comfort without becoming boring. But on the challenging end, we may feel pressure to have it all figured out emotionally, and we have to remember that emotional maturity isn't about never feeling messy, it's about feeling messy with wisdom and self-compassion. So how can you use this energy? You can create emotional maintenance schedule, having regular check-ins with yourself about what you need to feel secured and loved. Your feelings deserve the same careful attention that you would give any other important project or anything else you see as important in your life. And the moon and the sun's making a trine to Neptune. This is also separating, but it's still close. It's at 0.03 degrees, So this brings dreamy, water to water flow, like having, because Cancer and, Neptune's in Pisces and the moon and the sun are in Cancer, right? So water to water. So it can be like having a direct hotline to our intuition and creative unconscious. Our emotional radar is absolutely spot on right now. Our dreams and feelings are having the most beautiful conversation, and it supports manifesting from a place of genuine inspiration rather than ego driven wanting. We may get lost in fantasy or avoid practical realities, so the trick is using your imagination as motivation for action and not escaping from it. And we can use this energy practically by keeping a dream journal and paying attention to recurring symbols and themes. Our subconscious is, dropping major clues about what we're ready to create. And with the moon and the sun making an opposition to Pluto, this intense polarity is like having emotional dynamite. It's going to clear away, giving us the chance to clear away what no longer serves us, whether we're ready or not. For some of you, especially if you've got strong, 8th house energy with the sun and the moon being there, or Pluto being there, strong 12th house energy in your natal chart, this can really just kind of bring an unsurprising or surprising event, because sometimes we know what we need to do, but we put it off, right? That, gives you no choice but to transform, so positively, it can allow us to do deep transformational healing around our family patterns, emotional conditioning, and what power actually means in our personal life. We're being, given the opportunity to step into our authentic emotional authority. But negatively, it can add to the power struggles with authority figures or your own self-empowerment, or with family members or anyone else close, like an intimate partner. And the key is to remember that true power comes from authentic vulnerability, not emotional manipulation or trying to control others, So the best way to use this energy is to write a letter to any family patterns that you're ready to transform. So for some of you, just be writing about what you're ready to let go of. Some of you may write a letter to a family member or someone close that you feel you need to say. So you don't always have to give them this letter. Sometimes, it can just be really therapeutic, you just writing it, and then you can do a ceremony to release it, burn it or give it, and to remember not to abandon your roots, your heritage, but think about what parts of your past you are allowing to carry forward, giving yourself that conscious choice. The moon and the sun are making a square to Chiron, as I said, and this is, 4.59 separating, so not as, potent as the other aspects I mentioned, but it can, as I said, bring healing crises and bringing up those old wounds related to belonging and acceptance. Some of the times we can't forgive the past, we don't forgive ourselves, we can find it hard to forgive our past words and actions, right? But it's doing this so, it's giving us the strength to finally heal them and to remind us that we are strong enough to heal them, even if you feel that you're not. And positively, our emotional scars can become sources of wisdom and compassion, and it supports healing work that transforms our deepest wounds into our greatest gifts. On the challenging end, old feelings of not belonging or being too much can come to the surface, but we have to remember that these feelings are coming up to be healed, not to define you, The best way to use this energy is to practice radical self-acceptance around your emotional needs, that sensitive, caring part of you. It reminds us that it isn't a weakness, it's a superpower this world desperately needs, So now I'm going to also talk about the Sabian symbols in more depth that are, influencing this new moon. So as I said, we've got the sun and the moon in the 8th degree of Cancer. The tagline for this degree are rabbits dressed in clothes and on parade, and it rules the esophageal opening of the diaphragm. I pronounced that better this time, right? And it's here to remind us when vulnerability becomes our superpower, right? So it shows us as innocent creatures or rabbits, dressed up and proudly displaying themselves. So it's reminding us to find the courage to be vulnerable whilst maintaining our central nature. The connection here is about emotional authenticity meeting social presentation, asking us to think about how do you show up authentically in the world without losing your tender heart. And what I found, it's really about getting real about people's behaviours. A lot of the time we look at people's potential, and we've all got the potential deep down to be the best human beings, but if you want to take control for your life, you have to realise that sometimes, even with the best hope in the world, people can't be who we want them to be. They can never give us what we want them to give us, so sometimes the best we can do is walk away, and that, we can still be open to love, but it's about finding the right people to share that love with, rather than sharing it with the wrong people that, make us believe that there's no such thing as love, So from a Jungian perspective, this represents the integration of the innocent self with the social persona, the social mask that we all wear, reminds us to learn to deal with the world while staying true to our central nature rather than becoming something that we're not, or, letting the rejection, abandonment, heartbreak issues completely change us into a person that is just a product of these things happening to us, rather than choosing to be what you want to be, you know. So it's about the courage to be soft in a complicated world. So yeah, it wants us to maintain our innocence while gaining wisdom, being vulnerable, being authentic in our self-expression, finding community through genuine authenticity, and celebrating our unique quirks and habits, you know. But negatively, we can hide behind false personas, being naive about social dynamics. A lot of the time, I've experienced this. You want to see, if you're a person that's highly empathetic, you always want to give people the benefit of the doubt, right? And no one's completely bad, but sometimes to change it can mean undoing decades of learned behaviours, you know, and in this process, this can drain you of your vital energy. So it's about being real about someone's capability to give you what you want, and the world's capability to give you what you want, and taking accountability for what you want in your life and the choices that you make, you know. Also, it can make you try too hard to fit in, whilst losing your true essence, who you really are, and performing authenticity that we see a lot of online today in social media rather than living it, you know. So the manifestation opportunity, this new moon, supports us, you know, by helping us to manifest situations where we can be authentic and where our tender nature can be celebrated rather than exploited. On the occult esoteric level, it represents the sacred clown or holy fool, the wisdom that comes from maintaining childlike wonder while dealing with adult responsibilities. It's about manifestation through joy and playfulness, and the shadow warns against spiritual bypassing through false innocence or using vulnerability as manipulation rather than genuine openness. So it wants us to work with our inner child healing during this new moon, but specifically around finding safe spaces to express our most authentic self. So in terms of how it can affect our health, it's important, and it supports healing wounds around acceptance and belonging, as I said, and to find our tribe, you know, where your sensitive nature is valued or any other of aspects of your personality is valued, you know. Spiritually, it wants us to find more joy in our life and happiness, and be less focused on perfection, be more focused on getting it done, you know, and approaching the divine with a wonder of a child rather than the heaviness of adults seeking approval. The esophageal opening relates to how we swallow experiences, how we deal with them, how we integrate them into our day-to-day habits and thoughts and behaviours, right? Both literally and metaphorically, and any digestive issues may be related to difficulty processing emotional experiences. So it's a good time for inner child work around social acceptance and the courage to be authentically yourself in public spaces. So you can use this energy by finding or building communities where your authentic self is celebrated. It reminds us that our tender heart or empathy is not something to hide, it's something that this world desperately needs to witness. It wants us to do exercises with foods that feel comforting and nurturing, but also is good for us, right? And pay attention to how different social situations affect your ability to digest experiences, as your body is trying to tell you where you feel safe to be authentic and where you don't. It wants us to manifest spaces and relationships where we can genuinely be ourselves without having to perform or pretend, and it reminds us that our vulnerabilities are strengths, not our weaknesses. So, as I said, the opposition to Pluto happens when Pluto's in Capricorn, which has the Sabian symbology as an angel carrying a harp, and this falls the knee, and it represents bringing heavily inspiration into practical structured form. So with Pluto here, we're being asked to transform our relationship with authority and success by fusing them, you know, filling them with genuine spiritual values, you know, and being open to the higher consciousness within our own self and our divine force. And this means different things to different people, you know. So in terms of the karmic lessons this new moon's bringing, it's beginning a new cycle around emotional expression, authentic emotional expression, exactly to be precise, and the courage to create family, chosen or biological relationships that actually nurtures your soul and needs, in terms of past life memories. We may find ourselves remembering lifetimes when emotional sensitivity was dangerous, or when family loyalty meant sacrificing your authentic self. It's reminding us that these aren't just emotional memories, they're soul memories ready for healing, and we're collectively healing the wound of conditional love and the belief that we have to earn our place in the family tribe. This new moon says you belong simply because you exist, and it's happening now because humanity is ready to remember that emotional sensitivity isn't a weakness, it's a foundation of genuine wisdom and compassion. In terms of the manifestation guide in more depth for this new moon in Cancer, it wants us to focus on manifesting a home environment that reflects and nurtures our authentic self, and based on genuine love rather than obligation. Sometimes we think, oh, then a family we have to. I believe that, yeah, we have to, if we can, be close to our family, but sometimes some family members we have to isolate. Some family members so talk to, and some I don't. I keep at a distance for valuable reasons. Valid reasons, I think is the word I was trying to say. But yeah, so just thinking about your authentic needs and what family relationships are toxic, which ones you need to bring closer, which ones you need to pull at a distance and stuff like that. In terms of financial security, it doesn't require us to sacrifice our emotional well-being while chasing and money and material security. It's reminding us that we must look after the needs of our psychological, emotional and spiritual natures, and we can focus on creative projects that come from our deepest feelings and experiences, rather than ignoring that as well. In terms of a ritual that we could set up, we could create a sacred space in our home or outdoors, no matter how small, that represents your ideal sanctuary. For some of you, it can just be like drawing it or creating it with AI. You could light a white candle and write intentions on the paper, then place them under your pillow or somewhere else, in the box or any other place you want to, where you wait until the next lunar cycle or another time to bring them out and just let your subconscious work through them. In terms of the seeds to plant in your subconscious at the time of this new moon, seeds of emotional intelligence and authentic communication, nurturing relationships that feel like coming home, creative projects that honour your inner child, healing work around family patterns and belonging, sacred spaces that support your sensitive nature, focus on images that bring out feelings of safety, belonging and emotional nurturing, include pictures of homes that make your heart sing, family moments that represent genuine connection, and symbols that represent your ideal emotional state. So now I'm just going to talk a bit deeper about how this new moon in Cancer affects your relationships. So in terms of our family relationships, it's perfect, as I said, for manifesting deeper, more authentic connections with family members who truly see and value you. It's a brilliant energy to heal old wounds and create new traditions that reflect your current values, but negatively it can cause problems in all types of relationships that I mentioned now, due to you wanting to be honest or someone else being honest. It can create moodiness in people, temperamental, people being clingy, people being not respecting boundaries or enforcing boundaries too much. In terms of friendships, we can attract friends who feel like chosen family or want to spend more time with the friends that already embody this in our life, and where they create that sense of emotional safety and belonging that you've been craving for. It wants you to release friendships that require you to hide your sensitive nature. And if you're in a couple, this energy supports creating a home together that feels like a sanctuary for both of you. It's a perfect time to discuss what emotional security means to each of you and how to create it together. If you're dating or single, open to new connections, you can be magnetically attracted to people who appreciate emotional emotional depth and authenticity, no more pretending, to be tougher or less feeling than you actually are. If you're self-partnered, the most important relationship you can manifest is the one with your own emotional needs. Start treating yourself with the same tender care you show the beloved child or dear friend, or that you would show something or someone you care about. In terms of professional relationships, your workplace needs your emotional intelligence and nurturing abilities right now. Don't be afraid to bring more heart to heart to your professional situations, as this is exactly what's missing in most business environments, right? So in terms of questions that you can ask yourself at the time of this new moon, to help you reflect on the different areas of your life. In terms of the financial areas, you can ask yourself, what does true financial security feel like in my body, and how is it different from what I've been taught it should feel like? And this matters because Cancer rules emotional security, and your relationship with money is deeply connected to your sense of safety and belonging. You can ask yourself, how can I manifest money in ways that honour my sensitive nature rather than exploit it? This can help you with your understanding that helps you avoid financial situations that compromise your well-being. You can ask yourself, what would I invest in if I trusted that nurturing myself and others is the most valuable thing I can do? As this new moon wants you to change your financial priorities toward what generally nourishes your life, makes you feel good in a healthy way, because a lot of time our self-destructive habits, overindulgence in drugs and alcohol, can make us feel good while we're doing it right, but the lows always come after the highs, so we have to find things that naturally help us feel high without the big crashes, the lows. In regards to your emotional patterns, you can ask yourself, what emotions am I trying to earn permission to feel? Because emotional authenticity is important for your well-being, but many of us learn that certain feelings are unacceptable. Perhaps you've been taught that anger isn't spiritual, or that sadness is self-indulgent, when actually these feelings contain important information. And you can also ask yourself, when do I feel most emotionally at home in my own skin? As this reveals what you truly need for emotional nurturing. You can ask yourself, how would it change if I trusted my emotional responses as sacred guidance rather than inconvenient interruptions? Remembering that your feelings are wisdom, not weaknesses. In terms of the spiritual growth, you can ask yourself, what spiritual beliefs make me feel emotionally unsafe or judged rather than loved and accepted? Because this new moon wants to free you from spiritual concepts that shame your humanity, or religious beliefs that do so. You can ask yourself, how would my relationship with the divine change if I approached it as a loving parent rather than a stern judge? And this sacred love, it reminds us that sacred love should feel like coming home, not like you're being tested. You can ask yourself, what spiritual gifts am I hiding because I'm afraid that I'm too emotional or not rational enough? You can ask yourself, what emotional intuitive abilities are your spiritual superpowers? In terms of the psychological shadow work, you can ask yourself, what parts of my emotional nature do I judge as too much or too sensitive? As these rejective aspects often hold your greatest gifts. You can ask yourself, how do I abandon myself when others seem uncomfortable with my emotion? Because understanding your self-abandonment patterns helps you stop repeating them. You can ask yourself, do you minimize your feelings to keep others comfortable, or do you apologize for having emotional responses to genuine helpful situations? You can ask yourself, what would I create if I trusted that my sensitivity is a superpower rather than a liability? In terms of your physical health, you can ask yourself, how does my body respond when I'm in emotionally nourishing environments versus emotionally draining ones? You can also ask yourself, what does my body need to feel emotionally safe and nourished? And how can I care for my physical body with the same nurturing attention I naturally give to others, So now I'm just going to give zodiac guidance for each of the 12 sun, moon and rising signs. So if you're Aries, this new moon can allow your natural leadership, get a beautiful heart-centered upgrade, manifesting opportunities to lead with emotional intelligence and genuine care rather than just force and determination. Taurus, this Cancer energy perfectly complements your need for security and comfort. It's a perfect time to manifest a home environment that truly nourishes your soul and senses. Gemini, your quick mind benefits from this heart-opening energy. Manifest deeper, more meaningful connections that satisfy both your need for mental stimulation and emotional intimacy. Cancer, this is your new moon. It's a good energy to manifest everything your heart has been quietly dreaming about. Your emotional intelligence is your superpower. Use it boldly. Leo, this nurturing energy beautifully balances your natural radiance. Manifest ways to shine that also create emotional safety and belonging for others. Your warmth can heal hearts. Virgo, your natural caring instincts get an astrological glow up. It's a perfect time to manifest service opportunities that truly nourish rather than drain your sensitive system, Libra, this emotional depth adds beautiful substance, meaning to your natural harmony seeking. Manifest relationships that are both peaceful and genuinely intimate. Scorpio, your natural emotional intensity finds a perfect home in this Cancer energy. Manifest opportunities for deep transformational healing work that honors your emotional wisdom. Sagittarius, this grounding, nurturing energy helps anchor support your adventurous spirit. Manifest a sense of home and belonging that travels with you wherever you go. Capricorn, opposition to your sign creates a beautiful tension between achievement and nurturing. Manifest success that also feeds your soul and supports your emotional well-being. Aquarius, this personal emotional energy beautifully balances your natural detachment. Manifest communities that feel like chosen family and honor both independence and intimacy. Pisces, your natural emotional sensitivity finds perfect support in this Cancer energy. Manifest creative and healing opportunities that celebrate your intuitive gifts. So ultimately, use this energy for creating, sacred spaces. The Cancer new moon on the 24th of July is a great energy to deepen family bonds, manifest emotional security, starting creative projects that come from the heart, and, to do any form of nurturing and healing work. In terms of the challenging applications, the things that can hold us back, we have to avoid getting stuck in emotional sentiment, looking back, manipulating others through guilt or emotional drama, or using our sensitivity as an excuse to avoid necessary changes. Financially, this is a brilliant energy for manifesting money through caring professions, creative work, or anything that creates emotional sanctuary for others. Your ability to nurture is valuable, price it accordingly. In terms of our relationships, it's a great time for deepening emotional intimacy, healing family wounds, or manifesting relationships that feel like coming home. Focus on quality over quantity in relationships. In terms of health and wellness, prioritize activities that feel emotionally nurturing as well as physically beneficial. Your body needs care that comes from love, not discipline or punishment. In terms of spiritual development, explore heart-centered spiritual practices that honor your emotional nature. Your feelings are not obstacles to spiritual growth, they're pathways to it. This energy is perfect for projects that come from your deepest emotional experiences, childhood memories, or desire to create a sanctuary for others. Think memoirs, family histories, healing arts, or anything that nurtures your soul. So use this energy to come home to yourself in the deepest way possible. The rubbish dressed up symbology and parading aren't trying to be something they're not. They're celebrating their essential nature whilst dealing with the social world with the courage that's needed and being authentic. So it wants you to remember that your sensitivity, your emotional needs, your emotional side isn't something to hide or apologise for. It's your greatest gift to a world that has forgotten how to feel feel deeply and care genuinely. It's offering you and giving you the chance, permission to create a life that honors your emotional nature rather than demand you suppress, hide it, for the comfort of others. And with the Pluto opposition, it isn't about becoming harder or less feeling. It's about becoming more authentic and powerful through your vulnerability. Keeping yourself away from anything or anyone that's going to abuse that, so you can stay in that loving energy, and it reminds us that true strength comes from not hiding yourself, being defensive, but from having the courage to remain open-hearted whilst maintaining healthy boundaries. And it's calling us to create something beautiful and being radical in treating our emotional needs as sacred requirements rather than inconvenient preferences or inconvenient part of our nature, and creating that space within ourselves and within our external environments and relationships that allow our true authentic self to be celebrated rather than rejected, and that, protect our heart and our emotional needs rather than exploit them. And it gives us the courage to care deeply in, times of widespread numbness, or pretense or performance. So yeah, that's the end of this in-depth analysis of the new moon in Cancer on the 24th of July 2025. I'm Amani, your holistic astrological karmic life coach. Thanks for listening, take care, and see you next time.